Hello, everybody, and welcome to Let's Chat. And today we are talking with the lovely Laureen Nowlan-Card, and she is our guru expert on things legal if you have been victimized. So we have some questions here that one of our viewers has asked. But first, let me tell you a bit about Laureen. Laureen Nowlan-Card is the Crown Prosecutor with the BC Ministry of Attorney General and has been practicing criminal law since 1997. She obtained her law degree from Dalhousie University in Nova Scotia after earning her Bachelor of Arts in Sociology and Political Science at Acadia University. Over her 23 years prosecuting criminal matters, Laureen has worked with thousands of victims of crime, including all forms of abuse. She is both trained and highly experienced in trauma-informed practice. 6 years ago, Laureen expanded her career to include life coaching for women in the areas of women empowerment and public speaking. Laureen is the founder of Women Thriving After Trauma, an online community of resources. Laureen resides in Victoria, BC with her husband of 27 years and her 2 children. So, welcome, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It is great to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. It's like that song, Welcome Back, Cotter.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back. Anyway, I won't go
Welcome
there. My singing is not exactly up to par. After we did a parade in Los Varela, we were doing a Baja Humanity, and we were in the parade singing Mamma Mia, but we had changed the words to Baja Mia.
Aw.
We sang it and 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 sang it, going through the whole parade. So
Aw.
yeah, if I didn't have enough singing by the time I was done, I certainly did. And I'm sure the crowd did too.
Aw. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So our question today is from one of our viewers. Is there a time limit to go back to victim services for a payout?
Yeah, I understand this question to be about criminal compensation. So all of the provinces except Newfoundland and Nunavut have criminal compensation programs for victims of crime that relate to usually crime of violence.
Okay.
So I believe our viewer is asking us, is there a time limit to go back and make a claim for victim compensation? So I did a bit of research, and that's how I can tell you that Newfoundland and Nunavut don't have it. I wouldn't have known that without researching it. But so all of the provinces except those 2 do have it. Ontario has just revamped their system, and they have a different name for it now, but they all have a time limit that usually is between 1 and 2 years.
Okay.
So because they're provincial, every province has a different setup. So I would encourage our viewer to go back and you can Google it online. If it's Ontario or Alberta or Saskatchewan, right. Look it up. There is, for every one of them, there is a line that you can call and get information, and you want to connect with them obviously to get more information, but generally it's between 1 and 2 years. In Ontario, for example, I believe if it's a childhood victimization
right.
as a result of a crime, then the time starts running when you're 18. So in other words, it would be 2 years after you're 18, so 20 years old. So there are things like that, and for every rule there's an exception in the criminal law. Yes. And this is one of them as well. They all have these exceptions that depend on which province you're in. So it's a complicated system depending on which province you're in. So you want to check it out to your specific province.
So you have to actually have gone to victim services and lodged a complaint in order to have the paper trail, basically, too.
Yeah, so they all have their own claims process as well. But you would most of these things begin as a complaint to the police, right? So right. There's a crime's been committed, you complain to the police, an investigation begins, and then you make a claim to the criminal compensation system in your province for compensation for certain amounts or certain things that have happened. Yeah.
That's interesting because I actually never knew that that existed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, and I wonder how many other people don't know that if they've gone and they've made a complaint and it's gone forward and that sort of stuff, that there is some type of a compensation that they can get. Like that totally is new to me. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow.
Yeah. So most of them, I'm just looking at my notes that I made when I was Googling things. Most of them have eligibility requirements that begin with a report to the police, and then a filing period, which is usually within 1 or 2 years of the crime. But again, there's an exception for if the crime happened when you were a child. And if it's, depending on the province, some of the provinces have exceptions for sexual violence. So if it's a sexual assault or domestic violence,
Right.
some of the provinces have no time limit.
Oh, well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good to know. Because I know that I think rape has no statute of limitation on it. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah, generally that's correct. Yeah.
But other things do. So would their time start clicking the minute that it was filed, or would it start clicking once that 2-year period or 1 or 2 year period of having it filed start?
I wish I could answer that with with a clear answer for you, Brenda. But I can't, because each of the provinces has their own system, and like I say, there's exceptions to the exceptions. So my best advice is to look at your specific province's system. They all have either helplines or websites that have information on them about timelines. And in Ontario, for example, this new system that they have really encourages you to make the call and have somebody that you can talk to connect to guide you through this system, right?
Okay.
So don't be afraid to make the call. Don't be afraid to connect with somebody, person to person, and get this information.
Yeah, because connecting and making that report and getting that filed is key to everything, because then there is a paper trail.
Absolutely. Like, I can totally appreciate that a lot of times we don't want to have to deal with this, and we'd rather procrastinate about it, and to have to talk to somebody is just sometimes another barrier.
Yeah.
So, I know, I understand that, and I still want to say you need to do it anyway. I know how hard that is, but if you want to be able to make a claim, you really have to find a way to get the support that you need to go ahead and do that. So whether you need to call on friends or call on a counselor or connect with somebody at victim services, you need to take those steps so that you don't lose your rights to compensation.
No, that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, my dear, for that.
You're
and thank you
welcome.
for doing the research on that question. I mean, sometimes the questions come and you go, well, I got to figure this out.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And because everybody has their own little system in each province, the best way is to find out with your particular province. And I should say, while I've got you on the line, that the opinions that I express here are my own, and they're not specific to my ministry, and they don't represent the Ministry of Attorney General here in BC. They come from my own opinions, and I'm happy to provide whatever information I can.
Well, we all have our opinions, and we all have good opinions, and you, my dear, have some fabulous ones, because with your training and everything else, you do have a strong voice of knowledge.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that very much.
You're
If
welcome.
anybody has any other questions that you would like to ask Laureen, please put them in the comments below. That is what it is there for, and so that we can get to those questions and get them answered again in one of our future segments. So again, thank you very much, Laureen, for your time. And remember, everybody, that this is for general knowledge only. This is not to replace any counseling that you're taking right now or to do any of that sort of stuff. This is knowledge that we need to know. And I just learned something new today, that there was a payout, which I didn't even know. So knowledge is key. So
Yeah.
anyway, thanks a lot, Laureen, and we will chat again soon.